Under Joe Biden, we have become a nation in retreat, retreating from our heritage and our history. I'm the candidate the far left fears the most. I disrupt their narrative. I threaten their control. The truth of my life disrupts their lives.
I think there's some projecting there, because I've got to say, Tim Scott, when I see Tim Scott, I think, yeah, that's America. What an exciting story. You look at his background and you look where he came from, and you look at the fact that this is a guy that excites a lot of Republicans running for president. That's really exciting. It's as exciting as, say, a guy named Barack Hussein Obama starting his campaign, running, and actually becoming president of the United States. The United States of America becoming the first majority white country to elect a person of color as their president. This is something, you see, that Republicans don't understand. This is something that lovers of democracy, lovers of the rule of law, believers in, I don't know, the things that actually Thomas Jefferson said, that Martin Luther King quoted 60 years ago this August in the March on Washington, that Abraham Lincoln used to emancipate slaves. These are things we celebrate. These are things Joe Biden celebrates. These are things that a hell of a lot of Republican senators that are supporting Tim Scott celebrate. So I don't understand it. And Gene Robinson, maybe my memory's a little foggy right now, but, you know, he was talking a lot about a party that it's a party of grievance, and talking a lot about a party of anger. That either was projection or confession. And when he's talking about Joe Biden's done more to divide us, last time I checked, Joe Biden wasn't talking about overthrowing presidential elections and terminating the Constitution of the United States.
No, he wasn't. And look, Tim Scott's lane, I think, if he has a lane in this race, is the happier warrior. He's going to lean very heavily on his personal story, and indeed, you know, he's an African American who was elected to the Senate from South Carolina. He was actually the first African American elected to the House from South Carolina since Reconstruction, elected to Congress since Reconstruction when he went to the House. You know, that said, it's going to be, he's raised some money and he's getting some endorsements. He is popular among Republicans in South Carolina, although not very popular among Democrats. And he of course, is also up against Nikki Haley, another South Carolinian, another of you know, this South Carolinian of Indian heritage, who served as governor and is also now running for president. They're kind of splitting Republicans in South Carolina in an interesting way. People are having to choose sides between Haley and Scott and ask which one is more prepared potentially to become president. Neither is doing very much in the polls yet. So we'll see if Tim Scott is able to catch on in a way that Nikki Haley hasn't so far.
Yeah, here's more from Senator Tim Scott at his alma mater of Charleston Southern University. Take a look.
This is the greatest nation on God's green earth. Today I'm thinking back to my grandfather, born in 1921 in Sally, South Carolina, in the Deep South. By the time he was in the 3rd grade, he was forced out of school, his education was over, and he was forced to start picking cotton. But my grandfather lived long enough to watch his grandson pick out a seat in Congress. That's the evolution of the country we live in. My family went from cotton to Congress in his lifetime. Joe Biden and the radical left are attacking every single rung of the ladder that helped me climb. And that's why I'm announcing today that I'm running for president of the United States of America.
So, just really quickly here. Again, what a great story from cotton to Congress, right?
Absolutely.
We celebrate that story. We all celebrate that story. It's actually when he says America is the greatest country on earth, greatest nation on earth, I think, thank God a Republican is finally saying that. Thank God a Republican's finally saying that, because all we've heard is Donald Trump saying America is the greatest threat to Western democracy.
Carnage.
All we're hearing is talk about American carnage. All we're hearing is Donald Trump and Republicans all around Tim Scott, a lot who were at that announcement yesterday, saying that our democracy is rigged, that the last election was rigged. All we're hearing from not Tim Scott, but people around Tim Scott, are that our military is weak and woke, and they wish it would be more like the Russian military, when in fact our military is stronger than it's ever been since 1945 in relationship to the rest of the world. All we're hearing from Trump Republicans, and I'm glad Tim Scott says that we're the greatest nation on earth. It's about damn time somebody is in the Republican Party, because Donald Trump said to a question asked by our own Jonathan Lemire that he trusted Vladimir Putin a hell of a lot more than he trusted the men and women who are professionals who risk their lives for our families' protection every day in the intel community. What he said actually is radical in Trump's Republican Party. He said America's great, and we salute him for that. But for him to try to project that onto Joe Biden is pretty blanking laughable, because I've been begging Republicans to embrace their country and recognize its greatness now for several years, and stop talking about American carnage, and stop saying, like Donald Trump is saying, that America is the greatest threat to Western civilization, when there's some of us who still believe we're that city shining brightly on the hill for all the world to see. It seems Senator Scott may actually believe that. Let's hope it's contagious in Trump's Republican Party.